Speak loudly and clearly. Provide value, that's what I have here. I have provide value written down on my notepad here. What kind of value am I going to provide? Now, typically during this season, most people are going to create content about their New Year's resolutions. I say, screw your New Year's resolutions. If you haven't started already, you've missed a jump. I was having a conversation earlier with a friend. We were talking about personal brand, building a presence online, and how simply videoing your life can change it from being perceived as a normal activity that you would do in any day. And if you were to film it, you were able to, monetize that. And the example that he brought up to me was the Sidemen. I believe he was talking about the Sidemen. And it was the notion that these grown men are able to film themselves playing Among Us, which, although it can be fun, could also be perceived as a waste of time. And they film themselves playing Among Us, get a couple of million streams or views on that video. And, someone could come along and say, oh, what are these guys doing? What are these guys filming themselves playing a kid's game? Well, why would they be playing this? One, it can be fun, but two, it can just be considered part of their job. Because they have that personal brand, whatever they do is just part of the personal brand. And that's what people love about it. That's what people love about a personal brand. And that's why it's so useful. You can literally just document your life and it becomes your job. It becomes part of your job. And for example, if you're running a business and you have a personal brand, having a personal brand and the attention that you get with the personal brand, your personal brand, will allow you, and you can direct your attention from the personal brand into your business. And that can be a source of traffic for your business. That can be a source of potential clients as well. So we came to the conclusion that it makes no sense to not have a personal brand, because filming yourself eating, filming yourself making a fire or painting or working, all of these things contribute. They constitute your life, and therefore they contribute to your personal brand. So it makes sense to have a personal brand. Well, why does it make sense to have a personal brand? That's a good question. That's a good point. Okay, what I've talked about previously, what I've written down previously, the reasons that I have for it being important to have a personal brand are: having a personal brand allows you to monetize attention. It also allows you to record and, document your journey. And I think that's a very crucial part that a lot of people miss in life. Wouldn't it be amazing to share what you were doing in, from the ages of whatever age you start? But wouldn't it be incredible to be able to share that with the future generations of your family? So listen, this is an encouragement to those of you who do not yet have a personal brand. My personal brand is very small, but this year I'm looking to grow it. And I think documenting the journey that I'm going to be taking this year, going into 2025, is going to be very exciting. And I think it is one that may inspire someone. So, with that said, I also believe it is valuable to have a personal brand because you are able to inspire people. You can show people what their life could be like, and you can play on the idea of them becoming who they want to become if you're fortunate enough to be in that position. Now, you've heard it said that attention is the new currency, and it is. But it's at a cost. People do not pay attention to you if you do not provide them value. You either make them laugh, you either make them sad, and people have these certain emotions that they want to feel. They want to feel happy, they want to get a dopamine hit because they're addicted, because everybody's addicted to dopamine. So if you can, allow them to perceive themselves and visualize themselves through your life, well, then you're making hay when the sun shines, because these people might know what they want and you might inspire them. And so it's an encouragement from me to you to make a personal brand this year. It doesn't matter when you're watching this, but start making a personal brand. A personal brand can live on longer than you will. It is almost like a legacy. Legacy is not that important because we will all die, but you will be able to have an impact on the next generation, perhaps. And if you can inspire perhaps your son or your daughter through filming what you have lived, well, I think that would be quite cool. I plan to spend a lot of 2025 reading and learning. It has been said, those who are educated are free. And I am not free yet. I would like to become educated so that I can become free. I know that I'm going to give it everything I have. I have made a commitment to God that I am going to achieve my potential that He has set out for me. Now, I do not know exactly what that is going to look like, but I know that I will work extremely hard for it. An encouragement to all of you, or any of you who are watching this. There's a book that you need to read. Now, this doesn't matter if you are a believer in Christ, a biblical follower, a Christian, or a person of any religion. It doesn't matter who you are. If you seek wisdom and you seek to be wise and to be educated and have knowledge, you must read Proverbs. It is a book in the Bible, one of the many books in the Bible. There are 66 books in the Bible. It's a whole library. People think it is one book. It is many books. It's a library. In order to get knowledge, you must study the past. And in order to predict the future, you must study the past. You must be able to purchase the truth. Read Proverbs, become wise. It is something I will never stop doing. Reading the Bible is crucial. Now that I have an open business, Challenge Online, a digital marketing agency, we're going to be building a community. And what we plan to do with this community is to impact others' lives in a positive way, sharing the gospel and allowing like-minded individuals to interact with each other where it may not have been possible before. There are 4 pillars of leverage, according to Naval Ravikant, and that is code, content, collaboration, and capital. So code, first of all. If you want to leverage your business and leverage your business operations, i.e. get more output for your input, you can use code to automate different operations of your business. For example, sending emails. Secondly, you've got content. This is creating your personal brand. By building a personal brand and creating content, people, instead of being able to talk to one person through physical conversation, to multiply that leverage, to multiply your output, you can record yourself filming a video like I am doing right now, and then you can send that to masses of people. The third is collaboration. Now, collaboration is working with other people and having other people work for you. So collaboration, although it's not the most trusted form of leverage, because people get sick, people get tired, people will get unhappy with you. A robot probably won't ever. Finally is capital. So you can use your money. You can use your money to buy back time, essentially. If I have more resources, capital, to put towards something than a competitor does. If competitor A has a £15 marketing budget for a week, and competitor B has a £15,000 marketing budget for a week, well, who's going to perform better? Well, maybe it could be this guy, because his ads might be better or something. However, it's unlikely. If you have 15, you have 1,000. You have 1,000 times the amount of capital to burn on the same project. Now, this doesn't mean you should waste it, but it allows you to be more strategic, and you can account for failures. You know how you go to Tesco now, and instead of most of the aisles being served by customer service people, you will go and find more self-checkout. That is a way of Tesco leveraging their business model by using capital to invest in essentially code, which automates the system, which makes humans not needed. Now maybe you would prefer to have a personal system, and then you would go to your fishmongers or your local deli. That way you get an interaction. You go to the butchers, and that's great. Luke Belmar has said previously, and I liked how he said it, but if you have goals, you have a purpose. Now, it doesn't matter if you don't know your purpose. You should find it, but I don't think it matters. If you have a goal, it gives you purpose, A close family member of mine, my grandfather, we were doing some work together, and he doesn't have the best hearing. And another family member was encouraging him and I to stop what we were doing and come inside and enjoy some time with people we didn't really know. And I had to tell this person, no, we're not coming in just because you want us to. Because my grandfather couldn't hear very well, he struggled to interact. Because my grandfather can't hear very well, he struggles to interact sometimes. And, he doesn't hear much. He doesn't hear the whole conversation. You have to be very loud when you're speaking to him. And that's a challenge. However, he's a very innovative person, and he has always worked with his hands, like most of the men in my family. And what I realized is that gave him so much purpose. Sitting in front of the fire with his feet up, having a conversation with Sarah Jane, it was just not going to cut it for him. And neither did it for me, to be frank. So we're building a pizza oven, casting concrete, making formwork, laying these things. It's all very exciting. So that we can have fantastic pizza, by the way. Incredible. So what I realized is that he didn't actually get purpose from sitting with his feet in front of the fire and talking about nonsense that provides absolutely no value to anyone. So what we decided to do is I said, no, we're going to stay outside and we're going to keep working. And it was incredible to see how much purpose that gave him. And I take the credit for that. He would have got less, my grandfather would have got so much less out of sitting in front of the fire and having a conversation with a random person who we never met. Now, coming back to the idea, is that what Luke Belmar said is, if you have a purpose, and your goals can be your purpose, I believe that is fine. For me, my purpose is to glorify God. In the Bible it says that the best purpose for humans is to glorify God. That is one of the reasons why my purpose is to glorify God. If you have not found your purpose, but you have a goal, you must work towards it, and that will fulfill you, and that will give you purpose. Now, most people are wandering, most people are lost, they don't know what they're meant to be doing. They don't know what they are doing. Now, if you do have an idea, and I encourage you for having an idea and having aspirations, for if you do, you know how to get there. Because if you want to have something, you know how to get it. Although there might be roadblocks in the way and things you have to overcome, you do know how to do it. It's how are you allocating your time, energy, and attention? And I want to touch on that briefly before I close. Is that if you spend your time consuming brain rot, you will live a life of cope. And that's not good. You don't want to be living a life of cope, saying, well, I just didn't have the genetics. It's like, well, did you even try? How are you allocating your time, energy, and attention is very important. Everyone gets a certain amount of energy every day. One, you eat and you get energy. Secondly, you can bring your physical presence and you can bring energy. And this can be sensed through your body language, through your expressions, etc. Now, how you allocate your energy, so your output, I'm going to call energy output. How do you allocate your output? Do you allocate it on videos and consuming? Or do you allocate your energy towards creating things? Well, I can tell you the truth. I have done both. And I'm not proud of consuming. Although, learning from consuming can be good. Mindless scrolling and mindless consuming, mindless consumption of useless information is a waste of time. And you don't want to waste your time, do you? Because you want to value your time, energy, and attention, because the way you allocate those is exactly and will translate exactly into how your life plays out. If you just dedicate yourself to one thing, you will become you will become good at it. You won't be good at the beginning because it is ludicrous to assume that you would be. Was Tiger Woods the best golfer before he picked up a club? No. It took years of dedication, but he had a focus in which he applied his time, energy, and attention to. That's what I really want to stress to you, is that allocating your time, energy, and attention into one thing will translate into success. That's what I've found. And this, my personal brand, is going to be a documentation of that success that I find. Although material success means nothing to me, it would be awful to not pursue a purpose while I'm here. And God gives you gifts that you can build upon. And that is why you must have a purpose, is to glorify God. So this year, I want to be playing rugby again. Always doesn't stop. And I'll be watching rugby, I'll be playing rugby. I'll be growing my business. I'll also be doing some uni. But outside of that, I look to travel and I look to grow this personal brand. I don't have a specific number, but I would like to impact people in a positive way. And with that said, have a brilliant start to your 2025. Make the most of every second.